Good morning, everybody. Welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, a very odd live show. We are, of course, in the pre-show right now. Let's get that countdown back up there where it belongs, and we're just going to have a little chit-chat, let people come on in live, and see how everybody's doing today. This is going to be a fun and different show, and I already see the chat room lighting up here. APN TV, good morning to you, and Daddy MCC, good morning. Daddy MCC says, I used to work at a TV station, and the men actually made a much bigger mess with the makeup and hairspray than the women did. Well, fortunately, I don't need the hairspray. Hairspray is not a problem for me, which is excellent. All right, let me see. I just realized I don't have this thing set up yet, so let me get that over here so I can see my stats and check my status, make sure everything's going good. Also, for the regulars watching, we have made some fine-tuning adjustments to the audio system, so we're very anxious to hear what you think today. I know I'll repeat this again before we actually start the real show, but turns out that totally forgot this. One of my friend's sisters, his friend's brothers, get that right, is the audio engineer at OSF, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and he does audio engineering for the whole live production. So, like, why didn't I think of this sooner? So he came in last night, made a bunch of adjustments to our audio rig, and is trying to help us fine-tune this and make it sound mo better. So we're working on it. Still a work in progress. Unfortunately, when he came in, all the noise that we normally get from the neighbors and from the highway was down, and so he didn't have exactly the right environment. So we made some changes, and we'll fine-tune from there as we go. All right, let me just get my control room up over here. So how is everybody doing this morning? Let's see here. Ben5 Shuttle, good morning. Nearly 12K subscribers. I know, right? This is crazy. It's madness. It's kind of awesome. Bart says you're watching the snow come down in Raleigh, North Carolina. Send some this way. We still haven't had our snow. This is crazy. As I said the other day, the mountain's closed. There's no, skiing's closed. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Martin, you just heard a train go by. Yeah, that's really rare. You did hear a train go by, and that is very rare. It's only kind of a couple times a week that the train goes through here, and there's no predicting when it's going to happen, honestly. I'm sure there's a schedule, but I'm sure they look at the schedule just so that they can go, that's funny, and throw it away. If you knew anything about California, Oregon, West Coast trains, you would know how true that actually is. Jess says, didn't have a squirrel moment and forgot to tune in like I did last night when the photo's training. Squirrel. I understand. Squirrel moments are real moments. Ryan says, we don't need the snow. You're fine without it. Oh, come on, Ryan. A little snow is fun. It's nice. You want to throw snowballs at each other? No. I like the snow. I like having a little bit of snow here and there. All right. Health is looking good. We are looking good. Let's get the analytics up there. Excellent. I'm not sure what's going to happen with today's show. This is going to be one where a lot of people are going to watch because it's a topic that's unusual for my channel and something that a lot of people clearly kind of need, going on camera, want to do makeup, or is it something that people are like, I'll watch that weird stuff, and so we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. Daddy MCC, hello again. Martin in the UK, greetings. Petro in Austria, awesome. Awesome. A quick shout out, where are you guys all calling in from today? We got a little extra time, put a little extra time on the clock just so we could have a little more chit-chat time this morning. I think because today's show is totally a different topic than normal, we'll see how the questions are. If there are a lot of questions, I might hit them in the show. I might do we'll break off to a separate Q&A after, or we might just end the show and go home. So we'll just kind of see how things go. Don't really know. Martin says, moving into a makeup channel. Well, not exactly. Just like a one-off. This is important. It's important stuff. It really is. It really is. Greetings from Estonia, from Nepal. Roshak in Nepal. How cool is that? Brighton, UK, in the UK again. And Jimi Hendrix here from the UK. Look, Jimi Hendrix. A lot of people in the UK. I know it's a good time zone for you guys, isn't it? A good time slot for you guys. Yeah, I get it. I do understand that. Another UK, another Brit. Brits all over the place. Topic is good because I think the makeup will also apply to kids, so they still look like kids. Yeah, true, fair enough, fair enough. If you're a kid, you want to put some makeup on, but not look like you're 26, it's probably a good idea. Ben in the UK. Hey, also, you guys who are watching, do me a favor. So our friend APN TV on here, who's a regular on the show, he's trying to get his subscriber count up to over 1,000. He's a bit of ways from there, but just do us a favor. Go over to his account, just APN TV, so YouTube, APN TV, and just subscribe. Just give him a little boost. Let's get a little love for him out there. He's done some cool shows on cameras, camera tech, and even on the ATEM switcher, which I use. So not exactly the hottest topic for a lot of people, but super good information. So go subscribe to his channel. Do it for me. Thank you. That'll be awesome. Okay. Let's see here. All right, we are. Oh, look at that. We're at 520. We just hit the 0 mark. In that case, it is time. Let's get rid of that countdown clock and let's do this thing for real. One more quick sip of water because, all right, everything's in its place. I don't know how many of you have noticed this. Wondering what that's for. That's ready, everything's ready. I think we're good to go. We are recording, we're good to go, all right. On today's show, we're going to learn how to make this not look quite so bad. Good. Uh-oh, it didn't switch over. Well, we have to do that again. That is the second time that has happened. Second time I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's do that one more time. Wow. We are just having, well, it's a good thing I edit these things now and put it up later, isn't it? Because we're having all kinds of weird issues with the switcher today. Maybe it's time for a reboot. Okay, we'll just do it like this. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live twice-weekly show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on YouTube at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, youtube.com/PhotoJoseph. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell, get notified when we go live. And the big advantage of going live is that you get to participate in the chat. I get to do this. I can bring your chat up. Look at all those people calling out to make comments where it says PhotoJoseph on there. That is because they typed at PhotoJoseph in front of it, highlights right on my screen, so I know that you have a question. And if you have questions about today's show or anything that's going on while we're doing it, put them in there, and we'll address them as we go, as we can. Now, today's show is a little bit different because normally this show is all about cameras, photography, cinematography, things camera-related, and this is camera-related. It just doesn't actually technically involve a camera. This is involving the person on the camera. So we're talking makeup today. Now, I know a lot of people are like, what, seriously? You're a dude. What do you know? There's like a million makeup channels out there, and that's great. There are a million makeup channels out there. And they're talking about how to do beautiful makeup for beautiful women, and I am neither of those things. So what I need to do is make sure that I look a little bit better than this on screen. Now, this morning I haven't done my regular makeup routine, which is very, very quick and very subtle and easy, which I'm going to share with you. And you may have already noticed the difference. We're getting glossy hot spots around here. The skin's looking a little bit oily. It's just not quite as fresh as normal. So that's what we're going to look at. Now, we're going to be looking at a bunch of different stuff that I sometimes use, but we're going to highlight the things that I always use. You've probably already seen there's a lot of stuff on the table here. That's everything that we're going to be looking at today, but we do not need all of that in the slightest. So we're going to look at what we do need. Now, before we actually start the real meat of the show, my wife watches some of these makeup channels, and she told me there's things that I have to say, that all the makeup artists say. Now, I would try to incorporate these into my show, but I would use them wrong. So I'm just going to read them so that at least I've said it, and that way I can get credit for saying these things. So the first one I'm going to say is, I'm going to spill some tea. I'm not really sure what that means, but I've said it. And the other one is, so I'm supposed to say something bad about another channel, but I don't know what to say. Like, I could say, that guy's all shiny. He's always shiny. And then I say, no tea, no shade. Just, if anybody knows what that means, you can translate for me. And the last one is, this powder makes me look snatched. I can see the drop-off right now on the current viewer. Anyway, so let's get this, now that that's out of the way, thank God. My wife is cringing if she's actually watching. Let's take a look. So the main things that we're going to be working with today are these oil-absorbing sheets to get rid of the oil on the forehead, and this Stay Matte stuff, which is a little powder that we apply with said brush. So this, and this are the main things that we're going to work with. So let's just do it. Let's just jump into actually using it, and I will explain what we're doing. So we start off with these oil-absorbing sheets. And the whole point of these things, let's get a little close-up on this guy here. Find the right camera, there we go. The whole point of these things, excellent focusing job, is that these, come on, you can do it, suck all the oil off of your face. And it's kind of magical the way this stuff works. I don't know what this is made of, but there's little blue sheets, nice little thing you just kind of press down and open and one peels off, like that. And then you wipe your face. And so, let's see if we can get this right. We are going to add my extra light on here. Boom, turn on one more light, and now check out the extra camera added in for today's show. There we go, find the focus spot, there we go. Okay, so you can see the shiny on my forehead. That's really, really obvious right now. So I'm gonna take this little sheet and just kind of wipe away all, here we go, wipe away all the shiny. Make sure you get the nose, get under the eyes, just basically the whole face. And look what's happening here. See all that gross, oily stuff? This is amazing. And honestly, just keep a set of these in your bag. If you're a vlogger, keep a set of these in your camera bag because this will allow you to just blot off that extra oil. If you do nothing else, this will at least get the oil off. And you can already see how much better it is, how much less shiny it is. And then because I have a shaved head, or of course if you have a bald head, it can't hurt to just go over the whole thing and just suck off any extra oil in there. And that is the gross stuff that comes off of there. So that is step one. Disgusting and easy. Now, even if you are not doing a YouTube show, you are just on, if you're a photographer and you're shooting models that are coming in, people that are coming in, doing headshots for people, women come in with their makeup done. And if you've got the budget or they've got the budget for it, you might have a makeup artist in there with you. Men don't. Men don't come in with makeup on. So whenever I'm photographing a man who comes in here, I'm always oiling them down with this. That's a guarantee. And then I might also do a little bit of powder, which is the next step. So step one, oil, it's gone. It already looks a lot better, right? Okay. Next up, we're going to do the matte. So this stuff here, let me get this back onto camera. This is this stay matte here. I love how long it takes to focus. There we go. This is the stay matte on here. This is, I'm trying to find horizontal. There we go. And it is basically a compact powder. This is a slightly flesh-toned powder. You can get this to match your skin tone. This is basically my skin tone right now. You might change these out in the summer months when I get a little bit darker, but these are available for all skin colors. Anyway, brush. My technique is probably pretty crappy, but hey, you know, it works. It does what it is. So let's go back to the studio camera here and get into place. So all I'm doing is a little bit of this. You're supposed to kind of like knock off the extra there and then do this. I do like a little circular, just kind of motions up there, and now you can really start to see the difference in there as the sheen just completely goes away. And my forehead is my worst spot, so I'm always starting there. And then I'll do a little bit on the nose, on there, little cheeks in here, maybe to the side of the eyes, because sometimes you get a little extra showing up in there. You know, if you're really, wherever you're oily, you can do a little on the eyes like there if you want to. You can do your ears if you want to. I often will also do the sides of my head. So up in here, again, and part of this is because I have side lighting. It's kind of a rim light, backlight to my shot, and this helps get rid of that. So I'll just, just do a little bit of that. So it just takes a matter of seconds, get that up, and looking pretty good. So that is what I do. That is all there is to it. It's quick, it's easy. That's like the morning routine. Sometimes I'm a minute to live and Ryan goes, "You're shiny." And I go, "Crap," and I run into the bathroom, do that real quick, and that's all that it takes. So that is the normal, everyday stuff. If you want to know where to get all this stuff, and you can buy all this stuff at your local CVS or Rite Aid or whatever, but I'll put together a page for you guys. If you go to, and this is brand new, I haven't talked about this yet, I have this thing now called a page on kit.com. If you go to kit.com/PhotoJoseph, you will see all kinds of kits of different types of things. And they've got these live streaming kits that I started with, but I've just built one here called Makeup for Men, and you can find everything that I'm talking about in here. So if we open this up, you'll see all the different products that I've already talked about and more brushes and all kinds of other stuff in here. So if you're trying to shop for any of this stuff, again, you can just go to Rite Aid, whatever, but if you want to make it easy, go on there, get it all off of Amazon too. Cool, okay. So there's the everydays, right? The oil absorbing and this. Now this matte stuff is actually a downgrade for me for what I used to use, because what I was using all the time was really expensive. So here's what I used to use. This thing called MAC Prep and Prime. Now MAC is a really high-end makeup brand. This stuff is great, and I will say I think this lasts longer. So if I'm going to be on camera doing an all-day production, I'm probably going to use this now instead. This one is almost empty, and here you can see it's like totally almost empty there. And when I was time to buy another one of these, I asked my wife, could I get something cheaper? Because this is something like $30 for this. She goes, well, why don't you try this? It's, I think, $3. And turns out it worked out fine for what I do. So super easy, super cheap to do. So that's that. This is the higher end version of it. If I'm doing a long-term show, again, I'm going to be on camera all day long, there are a couple other steps that I will take, because this will not, what I've just done will not last all day. This is good for maybe an hour or so, and then it's going to kind of start to, you need to touch up. This one here, this is called the Prep and Prime Soin. I don't know what a soin is. I'm waiting for the camera to actually focus this time. So before I switch over to it, I can kind of see that, maybe sort of. Oh, well, maybe it'll be easier once it's on. This stuff is, come on, this is not centered on the camera. There we go, that'll help. This stuff is an ointment, a very, very expensive little ointment that kind of also sucks up moisture and just helps to, I don't know, even out your skin tone, and I don't know. I use this when I'm doing things for a long period of time, so these and these together will do this, but it makes it last a lot longer, so there's that. Other things you should have around, a lint roller, right, because, someone comes in, a client comes in, again, whether this is for yourself or for someone that you're photographing, and this of course applies to everybody, they come in with lint on their clothing. You don't want to be touching this out in Photoshop. You don't want to spend all day getting rid of every little hair, so go over the clothing with this before you go. Next up, let's see here. I forgot my cleaner, but we've got nail clippers. If you're going to do close-ups of your hands, make sure your nails look good. And then I have a brush. I forgot to grab the brush, but that's in mykit.com. Just a little brush to clean up your nails, make sure you don't have any crap. No one wants to see close-ups of your hands. You got black gunk on your nails. It's not attractive. If you're bearded like me, beard brush, give that a little cleanup before you go. You might want to have some scissors on hand, so if you've got any flyaways, you can get rid of those guys. And this one is an odd one that has actually worked out really well. And again, this is something I'll only do for a longer, all-day type of a shoot. This is dry shampoo. I clearly don't need dry shampoo, but what this does, it's basically baby powder in a can. What this does is it puts a moisture-absorbing, oil-absorbing coat on the top of my head, and that keeps my head from getting shiny all day long. So again, I only use this if I'm doing an all-day shoot, but that is a big thing there. But if you're just doing quick little stuff or just quick little photo shoots, have these 3 things and you will be good to go. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. So, and my wife is now in the comments calling me snatched. There you go. See? She's apparently using this term properly. All right. Quick little scroll through the comments, and then we're going to bail out of here and call it an easy show. Daddy MCC says, I use Photoshop too much. I have the urge to use the healing tool in a couple of spots on close-up shots. Well, that's awesome to be able to use that, but if you can get rid of some of this stuff, you know, the term fix it in post, it gets a little overused. Try and fix it before. Fix it in pre. Fix it on set. Get rid of those spots, pluck those hairs, brush the hair, get rid of the stuff on the shoulder, get rid of the dandruff, clear all that up before you start shooting, and you'll be much happier. And of course, you're talking about using Photoshop on a single image. You don't really want to have to do that. You don't want to have to rotoscope out a stray hair or a reflection on the forehead or anything like that. That's crazy talk. So just do this beforehand, and things will look much, much better. And Rich is very excited that he is watching a dude on YouTube put on makeup. Well, I'm glad you're excited for that. Thank you very much. Anything else in there? People, Bart's getting a house. Okay, wonderful. Congratulations, Bart. Let's see here. Martin, T-zone is head and nose. Yep, there you go. T-zone, head and nose. Got to do that. See, that's where the oils come in. Nurse Doc says, my wife is hilarious. Bring her on an episode. You see that, honey? People want to see you on camera. Last time she was in here, she wouldn't let me turn the camera on her. Honey, you got to come in and get on camera. It'll be fun. APN TV says, I always carry some Mac Blot film in my camera bag. They're basically anti-glare wipes that wipe off the oil. So it sounds essentially like what these things do. Awesome. I'll have to look that brand up. I have not seen those before. Ben is giving me a hard time saying it looks like I could do with another Unistrut shelf for my water bottle. Ha, ha, ha. All right. We are going to knock it off there. Last one. Jess Smith says, with dry shampoo, make sure not to use too much, or you'll look like you have gray hair. Excellent point. Not speaking from experience or anything. Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense because it is basically powder. You get too much of it on, the powder is going to be visible. It's white. It's going to look like, yeah, you're graying out where you probably don't want to be. Okay. That's it. I hope that was interesting, educational, and not too awful for those regulars who are wondering why the hell they're watching a makeup show all of a sudden. That's it. Hey, Friday, I'm not going to be here. I'm taking Friday off. I'm taking my son up to Portland. We're having a little boys' weekend. We're going to have some fun. We're taking the day off early. So I'm not going to be here Friday, but we'll be back in here on Monday. We've got all the shows for next week already queued up, so you can check those out if you look at the upcoming shows. But other than that, have yourselves a wonderful weekend, well, rest of the week and then a weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.